Hi, and welcome to the Flex with Aaliyah. Today, I'm going to be talking about tapering, what it is, why we do it, the benefits of it, because my 100-miler race is quickly approaching. It's banging on the door and saying, Aaliyah, taper time. So, what is tapering? Tapering refers to a period of reduced training volume and intensity in the weeks or days leading up to a race or an event. You can do this in any sport, whether it's bodybuilding, rowing, running, they all have taper moments. The whole goal is to optimize performance and give your body a chance to recover and replenish energy stores from the intense training you had been doing. For running, it looks like reduced mileage and intensities and more recovery. Also, the eating is a little bit slightly modified. Benefits of doing this taper: peak performance. A good taper can lead to a faster and more comfortable race experience because your body's fully recovered. Usually you're like scratching at the door. I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready to go. That's what a taper feels like. You're just dying to get moving because of all the stuff you usually do, and now it's just slow rolling. Tapering is not easy. It's almost like taking a recovery day. Sometimes that's really hard for people to just sit still and relax. Another benefit is reduced fatigue. By allowing the body to recover, doing a taper helps ensure that runners are fresh and ready to go on race day. So with 100 miles approaching, I want to make sure my legs and body feel recovered and ready to go. Especially if you've had a shitty run, which I did several days ago. And I did not feel ready to go for this 100-miler. I was like, man, oh man, if this is what I feel like today, barely doing any mileage, how am I going to get through this 100? Today, I actually feel a little better because I took a full rest day and then I've been starting my taper. It also is known to improve recovery. Tapering helps the body rebuild glycogen stores and repair muscle tissue. Because if you're going hard all the time, your body's always in the state of trying to rebuild. It needs some downtime. That's why in weightlifting, people would take deload weeks. It's less weight, maybe less volume, and their bodies are able to recover. So what does my taper week look like? It looks like zone 2 runs. The most I'm running during this week is 30 minutes. The taper week that I have lends itself to 30-minute zone 2 runs. So leading up to the race on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I will be doing 30-minute zone 2 runs. Super easy. Not a lot of distance, not a lot of intensity, not even a lot of time on my feet. Friday, I'm probably going to go for like a 10-minute jog walk just to get moving since I have to drive to this race. So sitting is not very conducive to getting up and just moving for 100 miles. That's mainly what my running is going to look like for taper week. But I'm not an ultra marathon runner. I don't train to be an ultra marathon athlete. I train more like a hybrid athlete where I'm doing weightlifting, I'm doing HIIT workouts, I'm doing running, strength and conditioning. So add that to the mix. How am I navigating that with this taper? Well, you can bet your butt I am not doing any lower body intense exercises. So I'm not squatting this week. I'm staying away from all those lower body strengthening exercises. My main focus is going to be on more bodybuilding style workouts that are geared towards my upper body, core, things like that. So on Monday leading up to the race, I'm going to be focused on back, maybe a little bit of arms. The next day, I'm going to be focusing on chest. Then Wednesday, I'm actually going to be traveling. So I have my little run that I'm going to do, and I'm probably going to do a little bit of upper body and a lot of stretching. because I'm going to be sitting in my car driving to this race. I want to stay limber, hips, rolling my calves, everything like that to stay loosey-goosey. That is what I'm adjusting in my training. Taper week has my reduced distance, runs, and intensity, and then minimizing any strength work on my legs. I'm not going to be doing any plyometric work. I'm probably going to stay off the rower. If I bike, it's going to be super casual. A lot of it, like I said, is really going to be focused towards upper body. So shoulder presses, bench press, flies, rear delts, everything like that that might be considered accessory, I'm really going to focus on this week. So it helps my mind feel like I'm working out, but I'm not taxing out my legs. I will say, having done several ultras with obstacles involved in them, running with your arms, they actually get pretty tired. Trying to straighten them, my biceps were so tight from running in that regular run position. They were smoked. So leading up to it, Friday, Thursday, I'm not going to be doing any type of lifting at all. That sums up how I'm going to be handling taper week. If you have a race coming up and it's an A race, you want to tone it down. This is not an A race for me in terms of performance. It's an A race in terms of, there's a lot of miles and you got to make sure you hold up during this event, because my focus is more on 10K distances for my races coming up in the spring, the summer, and the fall. And this I threw in because I really wanted to do it, dig deep, and find a way to come out on the other side and get this amazing 100-mile belt buckle. I'm partly terrified, but also excited for this opportunity. And I found some fun quotes for ultra marathons. This first one is, to become an ultra marathon runner, you must have the courage to explore the vast depths of the impossible until you find a possibility. Woo! This one's fun because it's saying that you don't know if it's possible, but you're attempting what you have restricted in your mind, and now you're making it a possibility, which is so cool. This other one, when you run your first marathon, more things will seem possible. When you run your first ultra marathon, everything will seem possible. I guess that's because the cap has come off. You haven't put a limit on what you're capable of. Before, a marathon 26.2, which is a phenomenal feat, but how many people do an ultra? You're expanding what you believe and are physically capable of. And this one, we'll end on this one because it's funny. In an ultra, you should eat like a horse, drink like a fish, and run like a turtle. You're going to need that fuel, so eat. You're going to be losing fluid, so you got to drink. And you're doing so many miles. You just got to chug along to the finish. That concludes this episode of the Flex with Aaliyah. We talked about tapering, what my specific taper week will look like in terms of running and also strength training. If that's something that you're interested in, maybe you don't know how to taper, not really sure, reach out. I'd love to talk to you. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you next time on the Flex with Aaliyah. Remember to like, subscribe, share, and of course, stay flexy.